Hey everybody, how's everybody doing today? Welcome to a special edition live stream where we're in the final hours of Amazon Prime Day. And I did a stream earlier this week on Tuesday when Prime Day started, but I want to do one more because I added a couple of new items, and also I created another list specially just for deals $20 and less. And we're going to focus primarily on photography accessories and the things that we use. So I know this is not my normal live stream time, so may not be a lot of people here. And if you're watching this after the stream's over, or maybe even tomorrow when Prime Day officially ends, it's going to end tonight. Some of the deals might still be available. So just keep an eye on that. I have my links down below, robtrek.com/deals. And then I have another link, robtrek.com/deal20. So check out those two. So if you want to see the only the $20 and under deals, it's robtrek.com/deal20. And then for to see all the deals, robtrek.com/deals. And I did try to separate the $20 deals, onto a different page. So there's a lot more stuff on the $20 page than there is on the uh, regular deals page. The regular deals page, these are, much more expensive items. Everything from actually camera bodies to lenses, but a lot of accessories and things that a lot of us need all the time. So I see Paul is here. Yeah, so last minute rush on shopping. So let's just get right into it. I'm gonna pull up my deal page. Uh, 1 second. Here we go. And let me adjust my camera a little bit here. So this is the regular. Well, let's just start with the $20 deals. So robtrek.com/deal20, and oh, this went up in price. Some of the deals are already disappearing. This was originally like 18.99. This 128 gig card. So things are changing fast as stock runs out, particularly on memory cards and storage like hard drives, SSDs. Once they sell out, when they get restocked at a much higher price. So I have a lot more memory card deals on the other page that we'll look at a little bit later. But I just wanted to focus on the ones that are less than $20. And the basic accessories that every photographer needs, we need a bag, we need flash, tripods, and lens filters. So that's primarily what's on this page, plus some, cables and power adapters and things to charge our batteries. And this bag has never been $10.39. I've been following this bag for many, many months now, and it started at like probably 25, $30, and it's come all the way down to $10 for the gray one. The gray one always seems to be the least popular color, but I kind of like it. I don't think it's so bad. And this is a great, great bag. If we look inside, it'll hold a lot of stuff. Uh, let's see if they have a picture of the. So you do get two dividers. I'm not sure why the picture here doesn't show. I might have to go down a little bit. And there's the dimensions, right? 11.8 by 4.7 inches deep. So it's certainly wide and deep enough. And it does come with two dividers. I'm not sure why they don't show a picture of that. But yeah, you can fit a lot of things in here. It's really good for our Micro Four Thirds gear and smaller cameras and a couple lenses. I have a similar size bag that uh, holds like my OM3 with three lenses and a flash and a filter, so an extra battery. So you can stuff quite a bit in there. It's a great everyday day bag for $10. And and then this is something you don't see too often. This is a hard shell sling bag, right? Most sling bags are soft shell. They're a little bit floppy, but this one is actually a hard shell, and it has plenty of pockets and storage. And I prefer bags that have the strap stitched into the bag itself, which this one does. if we go down here, you can see how the strap is stitched in, and the stitching and everything is really good on this. And you can see that the zippers are rubberized and they have a rubber seal, so it's going to be very, very water resistant. And a little tripod strap on the bottom, and it has this great divider system that's foldable. So this is very, very handy for making quick adjustments. When you're going from different types of gears. So you can see how they have it set up here. Two lenses, camera body and a lens, and pocket in the back where I like get quick access to parking permits or park permits, things like that, if I need to show them. So this is a great hard shell bag. It's going to protect your gear more than a soft shell, clearly, because of the hard shell. And 14.49. That's a great deal. And then this one's a little bit bigger. It's a little boxier, so it's going to hold a tiny bit more stuff. Uh, but you may prefer this style of shoulder bag. And for 16.79, this is a deal. Just ignore the typical price or retail price. This is at the lowest price I've seen this bag. And they have other colors here for $1 or two more. But I kind of like the green. It's a little bit different than a lot of the other bags that I have. And this has a stacking style divider as well. So as you know, our Micro Four Third cameras have small lenses, and a lot of full frame lenses, like from Viltrox and Seven Artisans, are very compact. You can stack two lenses in one slot with this. Very, very good bag for $16. You don't have to spend a lot of money for, these, for bags, right? You can, and they're certainly very, worth it in many cases. But I use $20, $30 bags for years now, and they've been perfectly fine, very durable, and work well. And then one more contender here is this bag. This bag has two outside pockets with buckles. So this is another style. This is, I guess, depending on your workflow of where you keep things, but these front pockets are really good for carrying the larger filters and having easy access to those without them falling out and not having to open up your bag to get to them. So having the pockets on the outside give you quick access to accessories and things without having to open up the bag. Now, when you do open up the bag, the zipper, you'll notice, goes all the way down the side. So you have really good access, easy access to the entire bag, and everything inside. And this also has the same stackable type divider, so you can stack lenses on top of each other. So it's very versatile, very efficient. And of course, zippered pocket in the back for quick access to your permits and things like that. Or your phone in this case, like they're showing. Okay, so I'm gonna put up my chat window so I can see if you have any questions or you're shopping for something in particular. Just let me know, and I'll do my best to address that or give you my opinion. Because I tried to go through. I went through uh, 400 pages of deals, and I cherry picked them all on this particular page we're looking at now. Okay, I'm just going to arrange my window here real quick. And then let me know the audio and video is working okay. Hopefully everything's good. And so I see Paul's here and Bob Dickey. Good to see you. On an unrelated topic, I viewed your video on the Godox V1 today. After 2 years of ownership, it all came crystal clear. Oh, okay, good, good. I'm glad you like that. And I can't believe how much memory cards have gone up since you pointed out. Yeah, so they're going to keep going up. The deals that I'm showing today on the memory cards, uh, they're higher than they were before. But once this stock runs out, they're going to come back at a higher price because that's the kind of deal they are. Like the one we just saw, here, this one they ran out of the $18 ones. So now it's $39. Oh, this is a two pack, so $20 each. That's not bad actually. Is this a two pack? This is also a two pack, but the best deal here is the two pack for 40 bucks. And then the 256, they're about $24 each. Not bad at all. So, uh, I'm not familiar with this brand. These are UHS-1 cards, so these are for like landscape, portrait, you know, where you're not doing high-speed continuous shutter all the time. If you are doing high-speed continuous shutter and sports action photography, you probably want to go with the UHS-2 card, but a lot of us can get away with this and be perfectly fine. Okay, the other thing is all these miniature flashes. By miniature, I mean just small on-camera flashes. These are all non-TTL, they're full manual, but they have pretty good power. For example, this newer 50% off, really good battery, 650 full power flashes, fast recycle time, and 22 watt seconds. So this is pretty powerful for an on-camera flash. Uh, and I really like the physical dials and the LED display. So you know, it these they have a good example here. This is the kind of light you're going to get. These work great indoors or as fill flash outdoors. Um, so if you just want a compact flash, this is great. And this flash is also going to be really good for like close-up photography and macro photography. If you're going to do focus bracketing and stacking, typically you're going to be shooting in full manual mode anyway. And having those physical dials makes it very easy to adjust the power quickly so you can get your stacking done. And then here's another flash by Neewer. These look like they're all Neewer flash. This is a little bit smaller. This is probably 15 to 20 watts. It's not going to be as powerful, but it's 10 bucks. And again, this works great indoors as a fill flash to ambient light. Uh, simple controls and USB-C. So it has a built-in battery, but the recycle times I'm sure are going to be like 2.5 seconds. It's not going to be as fast or as good. So honestly, for my money, I would get the other one I just showed. But if you want something even more compact and you just need a little bit of extra light, this will work fine. In very low light outdoors, this will definitely pull in or brighten up the subject. But I would say the range is going to be maximum 2 or 3 meters before it's just going to run out of oomph, for this kind of flash. Okay. And then here's another newer flash or newer flash, guide number 12. This has roughly the same power as the one we just saw, but it's just a tiny bit larger and has some more physical controls here. It also has, I believe, so here you can see the recycle time. This is definitely going to have the faster recycle time. And they have to make the flash larger to put bigger capacitors in so it can have those faster recycle times. So for $3 more, I would definitely get this one over the $10 one. It's only $3 difference, and this is a great deal. But I think the first one I showed that's $20 is your best bet. This also looks like it has S1, S2 capability for off-camera flash use. Let's see, yeah, S1 and S2 modes. So there's a little optical trigger here to fire the flash off camera with another flash. Uh, and that's great for indoors. Outdoors, these optical triggers are not very reliable, but indoors, in very small areas, like if you're doing close-up and macro photography, this will be great. So this one's a little smaller, not as powerful as the first one, uh, but it is going to be the most compact option with a decent recycle time. And then this one here is this one here is $5 less than the very first one we saw, but it's basically the same flash with a little less power. So it's going to have fast recycle times, probably 1.5 seconds. They don't list it, and there's a coupon here for $13.44, so make sure you check that. Let's see if they list the recycle time. They don't list. Oh, 2.8 seconds. So this one, yeah, this one I would probably pass on. I'd get the one that was $1 less than this. But this one has more power. This has a guide number of 15. But if the recycle times are slow, because the main purpose of this flash, I think, uh single shot portraits, things like that. You just need some fill light. But for focus bracketing and stacking, again, I think the very first one that I showed and this one would be your best option because it has the faster recycle times. This one and this one are super budget. I'm sorry, this one is a super budget flash. So if you're on a very tight budget, go ahead and get this one, but I would try and stretch and get the other ones. Now, Ulanzi uh, has a off-camera flash wireless trigger here. It's very compact. You don't have to worry about batteries because it has its own built-in battery for 20 bucks. So if you want to use any of these flashes we just looked at off camera, you can get this little wireless trigger and do that, and it's great. So um, I can recommend this. So you'd be in it for, let's say, $40 to get this and the other one. And that's still half the price of, say, something like the Godox IT32. And it's going to be for macro and close-up photography effectively the same. Now, it's not going to be an expandable system like the Godox, but for limited use and for ultimate portability, this is hard to beat. So I recommend getting this trigger along with any of the flashes that we looked at. And just keep in mind, these are not TTL or high-speed sync compatible, but you really don't need it. It's very easy to adjust. And then one last thing I put in here is this LED light, 1696. Sometimes this is enough. You don't need to use flash for close-up photography. You can use this off camera to move it around the flower if you're doing flower photography to get those nice side lighting. If you do video work, you can just use it on camera. Uh, and so this will kind of do both. It's a nice supplemental light for close-up photography, and it's a nice video light for vlogging. And it doesn't have to be on a camera like a mirrorless camera. You can use it for your Insta3, your Insta360s and your DJI action cams and 360 cams and gimbal cams. The other thing that every photographer needs is a tripod. This one for 20 bucks is a deal. Okay, I have this tripod under a different brand, but it's the same tripod, and I can tell you that it's really, really good for the money. You cannot beat this. You can do a lot worse at $20. Trust me. And you're not going to get a better tripod unless you spend closer to $40. This is not a Prime Day deal, so if you're watching this after today, like if you're watching it tomorrow, you'll probably still be able to get this deal. So definitely get this this tripod if you're on a tight budget. Get this tripod as a backup tripod that you can keep in the trunk of your car in case you forget to bring your good one. Because there's times when I go out and I'm like, I don't need to bring my tripod. And then I get there and I'm like, oh, I should have brought it. But then I have this one in the trunk, so I'm good. Okay, and then tabletop tripods. You know, for our mirrorless cameras like the EM5, the OM5, the EM10s, you could even put your Sony APS-C cameras and even the OM3. It's pushing it a little bit when you start putting bigger lenses on it, but like an EM5 or an OM5 with a kit lens to do product photography, close-up photography, macro photography, like the 60mm macro lens, this is perfectly fine for those kinds of things. And you can expand the legs so it stretches out. Standard quarter 20 screws, so you just mount your camera directly to it. And I recommend a tabletop tripod. I use these all the time. I have so many different varieties of this tripod. So I can tell you that this doesn't have the extendable legs, But if you're doing low to the ground shots, like, and those are really dramatic. Like if you go to the foot of a bridge and you put the camera down on the ground and point it up with a nice fisheye lens, you can get some really dramatic shots. Also, if you need to do time-lapse photography low to the ground, this is an awesome accessory to have because this will get you lower than the standard tripod like we just looked at. So for $35, you can get the tabletop and the regular size tripod. Um, so let me go back here and let me just recap this. You can get this $10 bag or $15 bag. You can get this $20 flash and wireless trigger, right? And then you get both these tripods for like $100 because this will be 35. This will be another 40, so that's 75, and another 15 that puts you at $90 plus tax. You're like less than $100. You can get a bag, two tripods, a flash, and a wireless trigger. I mean, for $90, that is hard to beat. I've spent more on just a filter for my camera than getting all of these things together. There's some other varieties of tripods here. Uh, this one here, I'm not crazy about personally for my workflow. This works great indoors where you have a nice level floor. Outdoors, it's a little bit unstable. But if you're mostly on sidewalks and city streets and street photography, this will be fine. Uh, but I prefer this indoors in a studio where there's no wind because if a little bit of wind comes along, it's a little bit unstable. So this didn't work for me personally, but it works great as a short monopod, as a selfie stick, and as a decent tripod and light stand indoors in studio work because it goes to 59 inches. So that's roughly 5 feet or a little less than 2 meters. This works great as like a fill light for as a light stand for small flashes like the V480, the IT32, things like that. Um, so let me shut down some of these windows before my computer crashes. Okay, the other thing is some camera straps. Now this is a really good camera strap for $15. It's a nice like seatbelt nylon type design. It's sort of copying the Peak Design adjustable strap, and it comes with these quick release um, buckles on the end. And you can quickly convert this between, a wrist strap and a regular strap if you want to. So for $15, this is hard to beat. And it comes in green and orange. So you pick the color that you want. But this is hard to beat. This is a very durable, good strap for $15. And then another strap, or if you just want to get a wrist strap for $8, you can do that. Maybe you don't need a full-on strap. Just go with a wrist strap. And I know a lot of people, I'm not a wrist strap guy personally. Like I'm not a lights like that short monopod thing we looked at earlier. But a lot of people love these, and it's instantly adjustable with the D-ring there. So you can cinch it up to your wrist for more security. But yeah, if you like wrist straps, this is only $8. And I have another strap here from Terion. Terion is an awesome brand. This strap's a little bit thicker uh, and has a single buckle here for adjustments, but this uses the sort of the Peak Design style lugs, right? 15.99. That's hard to beat. And this is, Terion makes quality products. I have a few of their products. I'm sorry. I have one of their camera bags that I really, really like. So quick release lugs in the Peak Design style and nice wide strap. So, this is great for heavier cameras or heavier camera lens combinations. You're gonna have a little bit more durability. It's gonna be a little more comfortable because of the thicker strap. So this will hold up to 110 pounds. You know, I'm not hanging 110 pounds over my neck, but there you go. Uh, Now, this is an interesting I was not familiar with PGY Tech products, but a friend of mine had a PGY strap that used this particular buckle and knuckles, right? And it's very secure, very, very secure. And it's a little bit smaller than the Peak Design style, which I like. So it's a little bit lower profile. So if you want to, if you have your own strap, say that comes with the camera, and you want to convert it into a quick release strap, uh, easy to do with this. And I've done that with my Peak Design style straps. 1596. That's a great deal. Um, so like I'll show you I'll show you what I did is it's on my other camera, but this one's not too dissimilar, right? I have my Deluxe 8. I have this little thin strap for it because you don't need a big strap for this little camera. And this is the factory strap. This is actually a Lumix strap, but I just put some quick release buckles on here because I want to use this strap. Say maybe I'm going to put this on my L10, which still hasn't shipped. I still haven't got it yet. But this is the strap I'm going to use with my Lumix L10 when it comes in. And all I have to do is, put the female buckle on this side, right? So you can easily do that with something like this. I can just use the factory strap and convert it to a quick release. This is another strap. This is a rope style again. And it comes in different colors. Some people prefer this sort of paracord, type style strap. This is $6.59. Hard to beat, you know. And of course, these are very, very durable. And some people find these more comfortable, particularly with smaller cameras. You don't need a wide strap, and it's easier to move the camera around your neck with a smaller profile or diameter strap like this. So I can see why people like this. Uh, I've made my own paracord straps like this, and I really liked it because you can just wrap the strap around your camera and stuff it into your bag, and it doesn't take up any room at all. Okay, and then a couple other accessories here. Here's a diffuser. So, this is sort of a full-size diffuser. You could use this on a V480, the Godox V1. This is great for close-up and macro photography. For portraits and things like that, don't waste your money, okay? It's not going to make much difference. And I see a lot of people try to, like even the manufacturer here, Neewer, they are showing that you get a softer light with this. This is really, really looks like some AI generated thing. It's very deceptive. In truth, you're not going to get much softer light for portraits, but if you're doing close up and macro photography, no question, you will get, close up and macro photography, you'll definitely get much softer light on smaller flowers and insects and bugs like this size. This is an awesome, and it also gets the light in front of the lens so that you don't get that shadow cast on the flower or whatever you're taking a picture of close up. So I recommend this for close up type photography. And they have some other sizes available for a few dollars more, but this was the best deal, 6 by 5, and it's a pretty good size. These 11 by 8 inch are kind of unwieldy. You don't want to get this. You're better off finding a different solution. Okay, and then let's see. Gray cards. Gray cards are very useful. I keep one in my bag, uh, handy. This is one of my sling bags, very similar to the ones we looked at, but I paid like $25 for mine. Could have paid 10 for basically the same thing. But I keep these in my bag. These are really, really useful, particularly when you're using those variable ND filters. Because the variable ND filters, the lower end ones, a lot of times they have a little bit of color shift. So you can correct for the white balance, while you're in the field, and make white balance corrections, as you're going along. And it makes things a lot easier in post processing to always have a gray card or a white card to adjust your white balance. There's even a black card in there. So if you're doing video work, the gray, white, and black card, you could use these to set your zebras, right? Um, and there's another one here. I have one of these also. It's in my other bag behind me. This one just, collapses down into a small space. It's a little bit, you know, uh, bigger target, than the little cards. So this is easier to focus on and set your white balance to, but it costs more, right? So either one of these are very good, but this is the easiest one to carry, and it's easy to use because you can just drop your eyedropper on there. If you can't get your camera to focus on it or fill the frame with that particular color, which you need to do a lot of times with the white balance, custom white balance settings, then uh, you would use the eyedropper in post processing. Here's a little accessory pouch from Newer. A lot of times you have to bring, of course, spare batteries and lights and lens adapters, which I think I saw a question about a lens adapter. Uh, it's just easier sometimes to carry all this stuff in a separate little pouch that you can put into your backpack. Because a lot of times when you buy a backpack, they have plenty of dividers for lenses and camera bodies, but all these little things uh, just go everywhere. So this is a great little pouch to put inside your backpack or keep in the trunk of your car for accessories that you use all the time. There's a PB15 over here. Oh, that's just the filters. So this is a nice little pouch here for carrying just all kinds of little accessories, right? Particularly cables and power adapters also, and power banks. Things like that, I like to keep in a little pouch like that. Okay, and then here's another one for I think $1 less. This is a little bit more of a hard shell style. And has more straps and a little bit easier access because it's a double zipper and opens up all the way flat. So this you can organize things a little better and see things a little better. Uh, so you can go with this as well. And then just one more, even cheaper, $11.99. I'm sorry, this one is a filter case. So if you're a landscape photographer, you probably have some leaf filters or the square filter system. This is just a filter pack for this. It's on sale for 12 bucks. So if you're that kind of photographer, I wanted to put that in there. There's another, this is a much larger uh, foldable gray white card for balancing, for white balance and for video work. 24 inch by 24 inch for 13.49. So I don't have one this large. You can almost use it like a reflector. It's so big because it does have one side that's white here. So it's a 24-inch diameter. I don't know why they say 24 by 24 here. So it's a 24-inch diameter. So you can use it, as a little bit of fill light. You put it underneath the chin or, off to the side. You get a little fill light to the side for close-up type photography. Like if you're taking a picture of a flower, you can use the flash off camera and then put this little on the other side, and it'll serve a couple of functions, right? One, that'll give you a little bit of fill light because it's reflecting the flash, and also it'll help to mitigate any kind of breeze or anything that might be going on and the flower starts moving when you go to take the picture. You can sort of mitigate that a little bit using this because it's so large. And then even bigger ones here, again, all related to the doing portrait work mostly. This is a 32-inch diameter. This one's a circle, so it's a 32-inch diameter. Uh, Pretty good size, and you're not getting 5 reflectors. You're getting 1 reflector, and then you're getting the gold, silver, black just kind of fold are just zipper pockets that you just put over the white card. So this is a pass-through light reflector. So yeah, it says it right here, it's translucent. So you can use it without flash just to uh, soften the light coming from the sun if you're outdoors, or you can shoot through with a flash to get extremely soft light. You're going to need a pretty powerful flash to fill the light on this, but this is a great accessory for any portrait photographer in particular. And then HDMI cable with L joints. This is a good deal. If you need this, you know you need it. I don't need to say much more. It's good for on-camera monitors and monitor recorders, things like that. So if you're into videography, this is a nice cable, and with the coiled, it stretches out quite far. But uh, yeah, I like this cable because it has the L brackets, and it's only $15. Uh, this is something I don't use personally very much because most of the time I wrap my lenses in sort of a microfiber type wrap if I'm carrying multiple lenses. But if you do want to really protect your lenses, particularly if you're traveling, you can put your lenses in this and put these into your backpack or luggage for the ultimate protection of your lenses and gear for traveling. It's not kind of an everyday thing that I would use, but definitely if I was going to travel somewhere and I want to keep my gear protected, my lenses, I would use these. 17 bucks for the set. Uh, and you can look at the dimensions to see if this makes sense for you. But I would imagine 12 to 40 in here, maybe the 40 to 150 kit lens in here, the 75 to 300 over here, and then if you shoot full frame or APS-C, you're gonna have a lens that'll fit into here. Like maybe what would be a good lens? I don't know. I don't know full frame APS-C that well. I don't have a feel for the size other than they're big and heavy. Um, Now lens caps I don't normally put on my deal pages, but this comes with a microfiber cloth, a few lanyards, and the 58 millimeter lens cap. So I like to use lens hoods to protect the front of my lenses. I find that's enough, but a lot of people want to go all in and they want to do everything proper. You need to use a lens cap to really protect your lens. And I like this one because you get the lens cap together with the microfiber cloth and a few lanyards there. Uh, I don't know if this is a two-piece or not. It doesn't. Yeah, you get two center pins, so you're actually getting two lens caps. So $3 a piece, and then you get all this stuff down here free. And they have various sizes here. I put the 58 because that's what my 12 to 45 f4 Pro lens is, but you can get the 62, the 67. These are all really at a good price right now. At these price points, if you only save a dollar or two, it's a pretty big savings, right? If you're only saving a dollar like on a Sony A7R6, then yeah, what's the big whoop? But these are really good deals. Now, speaking of this HDMI cable, a lot of times you want to mount, say, your GoPro on top of your camera or some kind of action cam or a monitor or your cell phone, whatever, right? These are really, really handy. I use one of these all the time in my studio because I like to mount actually LED lighting and just point it up and down. It's just easier than trying to use a ball head, right? So I like these. I think of these as like miniature tripods, or I'm sorry, miniature ball heads. But it's not a ball head. It's just a monitor mount. But I use it more like a mini ball head uh, here in my studio. And then of course, Magic Arms. This one is not on sale anymore. This was down a little bit yesterday. Still a fair price though. But This I use time to time when I need to attach um, additional lighting or additional monitors off my tripod, like off, I clamp it to my tripod leg and then I have the monitor off to the side. So this goes hand in hand with the, um, this HDMI cable if you're going to be using a monitor or monitor recorder device of some kind. These are really, really small Arca Swiss plates, and I like to take these with me. I rarely would need a tripod for such a small camera, but sometimes I do, and that's when I put these little uh, tiny Arca Swiss plates. It's perfect for this. It's very low profile, doesn't add any weight, doesn't look stupid like you got this big block on the bottom of your small camera. So if you have a small compact camera uh, and you want to be able to mount it to, say, a mini tripod or something like that, this is a great, this is really, really handy. They're really small. Let me just grab mine so you can see it. I keep I keep all my my tripod head or Arca Swiss plates in this box. So here's one. So this is it. Very, very small. And you can see I can just quickly mount this to the bottom of my compact camera here. This is easier if I had a coin. Well, there's a coin here. I just wanted to show you. I really like this. So there it is, mounted. Very, very compact, just like that. And now I can mount that onto a tripod, no problem. So, in fact, I think I'll just leave this on here. There's no reason to take it off because it is so small. There. Now it's on there for good. No issues. That together with these quick release buckles from PGY Tech, you're all set. I have some other buckles here I'll show you too. More of the Peak Design style. This is an interesting device. I thought about getting one of these for myself, but it's basically an L bracket. You can tilt your camera up. Excuse me, sorry, I had a big sneeze there. I got a little cinnamon powder in my nose because I like to put cinnamon in my tea sometimes, uh, or not my tea, but my coffee. But I didn't stir it, so there's a lot of powder on top. Anywho, you can see this is a really interesting way to do an L bracket. Uh, so I don't know if this might fit into your workflow or not, but I thought this was interesting. So and it's on sale. So if you were looking for a solution to your L bracket needs and you didn't like the normal L brackets, which are huge, right? I mean, they're big chunky things. This might be the way to go, and it's great for again very small, compact, lightweight cameras. So that's why I put it on here. Here's another L bracket, a little bit bigger, probably going to be more rigid, but another solution for about the same price. So something else you can look at. But this has more of that square quick. This is not a standard Arca Swiss attachment here. Well, it's double-sided, so it'll fit into an Arca Swiss style clamp, but it'll also fit in the, I forget the name of Peak Design, the Peak Design clamps as well. So it looks like it's Peak Design compatible. Um, or that FJ, F38, something like, yeah, F38 quick release system. I believe is, don't quote me on this, but I believe the F38 quick release is compatible. The plate anyway is compatible with Peak Design. In any case, just another interesting solution to L brackets. Uh, and then here's a grip. I know some of you have bought the new XE5 from Fujifilm. Really nice little rangefinder camera. And this is a nice grip for it. A little darker walnut color here. And then, silver base or one in black. So you have your choice there. 20 bucks. And I recommend base plates for all your cameras. I try to put a base plate on all my cameras. Uh, Again, more base plates, Sony A7R5. I have something very similar to this on my Sony. Uh, I also have one here on my OM3. It just gives a lot of, it protects the bottom of your camera. It also takes the pressure off the tripod screw. So it's less likely to, you're less likely to break your tripod mounting screw in here. I don't care what camera you have. Everyone has broken their tripod screw mount at some point in time. Okay. Um, and any professional will tell you. So this distributes the weight all along the bottom of the camera and makes it for a nice strong. And if you're one of those influencers, and I'm talking to these YouTubers like myself, put your camera down on concrete. It drives me nuts. It's a pet peeve of mine. I'm like, why would you put your camera on a rock or concrete? But anyway, if you're one of those influencers, get one of these, please. Please get one of these. For the rest of us, the whole intent here, and it has the Arca Swiss plate built right in uh, to the mount. So anytime I pick up my camera, it's ready to go and mount onto a tripod, or I can set it down on a table. And I know I have very good rigidity down here. It'll add years to your camera life. So I didn't see any for OM systems other than one for an OM5 Mark I and the M5 Mark III. But there's several base plates here for different camera models. This is kind of an interesting Arca Swiss plate because it allows you to run the cables underneath the camera, and it acts like a what do you call it? A brace for your cable. So you can see the cable. You just run it through around the screws there, and then that way you don't have to worry about ripping out, particularly if you have micro HDMI, you don't have to worry about ripping out or breaking your HDMI cable. Uh, so if you're using cable, an HDMI cable or even a USB-C cable a lot with your camera, rather than, and I lost a little adapter that secures the cable into the side here a long time ago. But if I was doing a lot of things where I had to plug in my camera to either USB-C or HDMI on a regular basis, I would definitely get one of these. And it's only 12 bucks. I do have one of these, but I've never used it. Um, and then here's a half case for the XM5, 1584. And then here's some cleaning things, okay? So blowers, these blowers have filters in them. So you're not blowing dust back onto the sensor or your lens. At least that's the idea. I mean, in practice, with or without a filter, I don't see what difference it makes because there's dust in the air and you're blowing in the air. But anyway, uh, if you're worried about it, you can get one of these. This is a little bit higher quality one. You know, $15 for this one. You can get another one. This one's from K&F Concepts. This has a little bit narrower nozzle, so you have a little better airflow coming out of it. And then, or you can just buy a whole kit for $5 more. You can get some lens cleaning microfiber cloths, some cotton swabs, and a little bit of lens cleaner spray, and it comes in a nice pouch. So this is a really good deal for a complete cleaning kit. And if you don't care about any of that, if you already have a blower and lens cleaning kit, you can just buy some microfiber cloths. $8 for 30 of them. This is the best deal I could find. If you want less, a lot less, you can get 6 of them for, why buy this? Just get the 30 pack. You will go through these quickly. Uh, and here's another way to carry this one's kind of interesting. You stuff the microfiber inside that little pouch, and then there's a carabiner, and you just clip it to say your jacket or camera bag, and you always have a microfiber cloth protected in this little pouch, and then you only pull it out when you need to clean something. So I thought this was an interesting product. I used to have one. I gave it away, but you know, not intentionally. I was out in the field with a friend of mine, and he forgot to bring his microfiber cloth, so I just gave him the one that I had. I got one at a camera event. Is some of the swag they were giving away. They used to give away really nice swag, much nicer than this. But it's not like the old days. I used to go to trade shows with like uh, a roller bag because I knew I was going to fill it up with swag, but not anymore. I don't bother anymore. Some full frame APS-C and Micro Four Third sensor cleaning swabs. At some point in time, you're going to have to clean your sensor with more than just a blower. Uh, it's best just to get a regular kit and do it yourself, or you can take it into the camera store. They'll do it for $100. But if you're fairly savvy with technology and very sensitive to how delicate your sensor is, you can try yourself. You can do it yourself. I've done it myself many times. Uh, no issues. Particularly my Sony sensor gets dusty all the time. Uh, this is just a small filter case, half price, $8. My preference would be if you just need a filter case, this is a good deal. But my preference personally is for $11, you can get a filter set and it comes with the case free and the microfiber cloth. If you need a 72 millimeter filter size, you get an ND filter set. 72 millimeter ring size. This is a great filter set for $11 and it comes with the case and the microfiber. There's a couple other ones here in different sizes that are also at a good deal. The 58 millimeter, really good. For like the 12 to 40 or 12 to 45 f4 Pro lens, the 40 to 150 kit lens, the 75 millimeter. I think my Fujis are also at 50 millimeter, 58 millimeter, my Fuji lenses. So this is a very popular size. For $2 more, basically, you can get this one. Okay, let me shut down some of these windows. And another filter set here. This is 49 millimeter. So check these out. Various different sizes. This looks like the best deal for an ND filter set. This has a little bit darker set here, and it comes with a lens pen. But if you're like me, you already have a ton of filters, and I just threw away a bunch of filter cases because a lot of times when you buy the filters, they come in their own little case. I just threw a bunch of those away, and I took the filters out and I put them in my own filter case. So you can see I have a bunch of these, you know. Um, just just bag after bag. Sometimes I label them. Uh, so I've bought a few of these, but usually I bought the filters that come with their own case, like this. This was a 3 filter set that comes with its own case. And I'll give you another tip. A lot of times when you buy things, they come with these little foam sheets, bigger than this. I cut this one out, or this might have came like this, but I have some that I've cut out, like this. I'll show you this one. Like this is a lens case. This came with one of my lenses, right? And I now use it as a filter case, and I got a long strip of that foam, and I just curve, I just did S curves back and forth, zigzag curve, and I put all my filters in here like this into this lens case. But I'm just giving you some DIY stuff here. But yeah, it's basically this. So this works well. You can put this, like this pouch here will hold more than one filter. So a lot of times I'll stuff this in behind. This one's a little bit too small for this. But you stuff this in behind and then you can put two filters in one slot. So I do that all the time. If you don't have foam, then you can put uh, microfiber cloth. You buy that 30 pack, you put one lens in a microfiber cloth, and you can put a lens behind it. So anyhow, uh, but after all of that, if you still need a filter case, this is a really good deal. $15.99. It holds 10 filters, and it's a hard case, so it's going to protect your gear, your lenses really well. This is an 82 millimeter filter thread. It'll hold up to 82 millimeter filter thread, so definitely check this out. And let's see, more filters here. Some black mist filters for $10. Just look at the filter thread sizes. Circular polarizers. Walking Way is a great brand. I've used one of their filters. I have one of their ND filters. No issues at all with it. You won't see any effect on the image quality. Here's a K&F and a Gobe. So UV filters or ND filters and a black diffusion. Diffusion filters, the black diffusion filters are good for uh, softening highlights and things, right? I use those for portraits. I used it at a event when I was doing some portrait photography at an event during Christmas. So it really softened up all the little speculars from the Christmas tree and the lights inside the decorations and everything. So I like to use a black diffusion filter sometimes. And I see a quick question about filter brands. All of them are fine. None of them stand out in particular at these price points. Um, the only thing I really look for, Green L is very good. Of course, everyone's familiar with Tiffin, I would assume. Tiffin and K&F, of all the brands here, Tiffin and K&F are sort of, I don't want to call them top tier, but they're mid-tier brands. Very good quality. The rest of these are entry-level brands, but you would be hard pressed to tell the difference between this and a mid-tier brand when you're using them. I would only spend money on top tier and mid tier brands if I was getting paid work professionally, and I didn't need any. I wanted to make sure there was no glare and reflections, because that's about the only weak point of these entry level type filters is if you're shooting in very specular areas, like there's a very strong point of light coming into the lens, sometimes you can get a little bit of reflection. And also, they don't have quite the what do you call it? They're not quite as translucent as the high-end filters, so it'll darken the lens. It'll darken the image just a little bit, not like a full stop, but like maybe a tenth of a stop, right? Your image will be about a tenth of a stop darker. But in terms of fine detail, virtually no difference. I mean, virtually no difference. Uh, but yeah, the Tiffin and the K&Fs I would consider mid-tier. Top tier would be like maybe B&H and some other brands. I never buy top tier. I have some top tier ones, but when I first started in photography, I wanted to get the very best. Now, after 10 plus years of doing photography, I'm like, I can't believe I wasted so much money on these high-end filters because now I use all these budget filters, you know, like Neewer, Walking Way, Green L. They're fine, even in my professional and paid work. Okay. A little bit out of order here. There's a couple of more LED lights here, but these are colored ones. These are kind of fun to use for light painting with our live comp modes in our cameras, and particularly the ones with the bars. I don't do this a lot myself, but um, I think I did do one. Let me see. I can show you an example where I used a light bar. Let me see if it comes up if I just type it in that way. Yeah, here's one I did. I used the light bar for this, and I had it alternate colors while I was moving it around. And then these speculars back here, after I was done walking around with the light bar, I just popped the flash a few times. Um, and I was at f 1.4 wide open, and I still got nice speculars. Interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that a little more. You would think this was like an f16 or something, but I was wide open at f1.4. So that's what this kind of stuff is for, is doing things like that. And then these smaller ones are not ideal for light painting, but if you want to add a little bit of a red glow, I would get a couple of these. You can add a little bit of red glow in the background and regular white light in the foreground to create a more dynamic scene. I've seen a lot of like toy photographers and product photographers use this. So there's that. And then these are all pretty much budget power supplies, but I need to delete this one. But I tried to stick with really good brands, Ugreen and Anker. So I would stick to Ugreen and Anker. I would be a little weary of these two. I should take these off. They got really good reviews. Okay, 4.6 stars. That's hard to beat. But I believe Ugreen has a really good power. Let me pull that up because I'm always charging things in my car too. Ugreen auto charger. Let me see if it comes up that way. Yeah, there's one. This is a really good one. This is not the one that I bought. I'm going to add this to my list. Uh, but this is what, 30 watts, so more than enough power to charge your cameras and other devices very easily. The main thing is with these higher power things, 30, like I would not charge 60 watts all at once, like plug in two 30-watt devices. Um, Now, because what's going to happen, it's going to throttle and slow down to manage the heat. But Ugreen will do that. It has built-in heat management so it doesn't overheat and melt your cigarette lighter or your power outlet or the device itself. These cheaper ones, that are very small and claim these high power outputs, they can melt very easily. I had one melt in my car. Luckily, it didn't do any damage, but I'll never buy a cheap, no-name power supply again when I need to use it for high power. So keep this in mind. This is the one that I bought actually. I bought this one and it's been working great. It's a little bit smaller, doesn't have its own retractable cord, which I like the one with the retractable cord better, but I'll add this to it. Uh, Again, this has 130 watts, a little more power. I would not plug my laptop into it all the same, you know, to try to draw at 100 watts because it will throttle the power output to manage the heat, but maybe not enough that it could melt inside your car. It'll melt the power outlet in your car. So just be careful of that. Just charge your cameras and small batteries with this. Your phone are perfectly fine, maybe even your tablet, but I wouldn't do more than that with one of these. Just a little safety tip. Okay, let's go down to, we're almost at the end. These are all the filters. If you're interested in a particular filter, let me know. Those are the lights, some power supplies, some cables. I bought this cable. It works really well. I like the little LED light on it that tells you the power output. Gosh, I've had this for 2 years now. Still working fine. It's been plugged in. I don't use it every day, but on a regular basis, and it's been fine. Um, and then here's a couple of cables from Ugreen, a 2-pack, really good. Some batteries and chargers, some card readers. Here's one from Ugreen. This is a Type 4, so it's going to be if you buy a UHS-2 card and you want the fastest read speed into your computer, you need to get one of these, the UHS-2 compatible card readers. 17 bucks is a steal. I paid $80 for mine. Okay, you can get this one for $17, and it's a good brand. But here's a few other options. Not all of these are 4.0 spec. Some of these are UHS-1. If you don't care about the speed read into your computer, just get one of the cheaper ones for $8 instead of $17. Uh, and some various batteries, if you need spare batteries. There's some generics here. Generics last about 80% of the OEM batteries, but sometimes it's just about convenience and having a spare when you absolutely need it. I always recommend having two OEM batteries and then using these generics as backup because over time they swell up and they go bad. I've gotten typically 2 to 4 years out of generic batteries. My OEM batteries last almost feels like forever, 5, 6 years, no problem. Okay, I need to take a little break right here because I've been on for about an hour. And I've been drinking coffee. So let me just take about a 1 minute break, and then I'm going to go into the chat section. Then we'll go back into the Okay, so sorry about that. Thanks for being so patient. So hopefully you can still hear me okay and see me. I'm just going to go into the chat window. Uh, First, let me thank Paul. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Uh, that it goes a long way to helping me out uh, to keep things going here on the channel. I really appreciate it. And let's see. Heather, you like your PGY Tech, and I see Robert is here. Good to see you, and thank you for the feedback on that, Heather. And did I see any Exacta lens mounts for MFT? I have not. I know they're available, but I didn't see any deals on them. But I'll take a look. Uh, and yeah, the audio is a bit harsh. I'm sorry. I'll try and figure out the audio this weekend. I don't know why the audio just turned to shit. You know. But okay. And Clint is here. It says, "Hey Rob, thanks for scanning the market for us. I almost never get to watch live, but I do always watch later." Okay, thank you, Clint. I've been watching for a good deal on the OM3, but somehow ended up with a titanium gold Panasonic S9. Oh, nice. It came with a small rig with grip, but wouldn't mind finding a deal on a leather half case. Oh, there is a deal on a leather half case. I didn't post it, I don't think, but we'll double check. Uh, and then I answered this one, and you need a 77 millimeter polarizer, as well as 72 for the 12 to 100. Okay, so we'll take the low hanging fruit first, okay? Since we were just here on the filters. Let's see. There's a JJC. That's an ND, UV, diffusion. Okay, walking way. Let's take a look at this one. See if they have a 70. There's a 72 and a 77. So this one is good. 72 millimeter. So just click on this walking way here, and then come over to this page and then select the size that you need. Uh, this is a very, very good brand. I bought one of their filters and it was excellent. And they also have the 77 here for 1569. So not as good a deal as the previous one, but overall they are the most affordable brand that offers a really decent quality. Okay, so let me go back up to uh, the half case. I think I have the half case on my other deal page. It might have been a fake leather, but let me just take a quick look. Yeah, it's not there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look for it. Let me know if you want real leather or fake leather. Um, this one is pretty good. So I'm gonna add this to my deal page. And sorry. Uh, Small Rig has one. This is the one that I saw that was fake leather. Oh, the black one is not on sale anymore. That's why I took it off. Sorry, you're not seeing. This was on sale earlier, but it's not anymore. But these are fake leather. This is the only one that's still at a decent price. So, oh no, they have them all. But this is fake leather. You know, tough call. It's not, there's a little coupon here, but there's that one. And then there's this one here. This looks like a much higher quality half leather, and it's genuine leather. So I've already added this one to my deal page, so you'll see it there, but they got different colors here for the same price. And then that's it. And then the small rig. This one is $2 less, but it has like this wood grip kind of thing here. And the base plate, yeah, base plate looks pretty decent. Nice metal or aluminum base plate, I'm sure. This is not on sale, but it's not a bad price. Let me add that. Let me just check the price history. So there was a little bit of a dip down to like 30 bucks. So this was $10 off at some point. Uh, but other than that, it's not been on sale for a whole year. Just a little bit of a dip here. This was probably like a Prime Day or something. Uh, so if you're not in a hurry, you can wait for this one to go on sale, or um, if you if you don't mind one of these, I like this a little better. I don't really like this one. This one doesn't come up as high, you see. This one goes all the way up to the corner on the left side and about halfway up on this side. I like this one a little better. Okay, and then the last thing you were looking for was the Exacta, or let me see, where is that message? Exacta, yeah, the Exacta lens mount. So let's see. Exacta to M43. Oh, let's see. There's one for $15. There's nothing on sale. Oh, let's see. Oh, that's a Pentax. I only see this one, Paul. Uh, as you can see, I've bought a lot of variations of this particular brand, Photocy, and they're fine. But this one's $16, so I can add this to. I'll just add it to my page. $15.95. That's not bad. And like I said, I bought this a lot, and they work fine. This particular brand, Photocy. Okay. And Clint says, thank you, Rob, for finding the cases. I agree that the full leather with built-in grip would probably be the best. I will make sure I use the link. Oh, thank you, Clint. I really appreciate that. Okay. Let's go to, let's finish off the deal page. So, these are sort of generic lithium-ion batteries for AAA. Pretty good deal. 8 batteries and the charger. You can't use like your regular oh, I'm sorry, these are nickel metal hydride, not the lithium ion. So it comes with a charger. Let me just check need to check one more thing here. Okay, this looks good. So AAA batteries are commonly used in radio triggers, right? And remote controls. So I'm always running out of AAA batteries. I just bought another set not too long ago. Otherwise, I would get this deal. But The other thing I would recommend, I just bought another set, but that's a good deal. These Duracells, I've bought these before, back in 2021, uh, and these batteries work great. And you can get, and this is less than I paid for mine. So you can get the charger and 4 batteries. These are AA, okay? These are AA batteries, and these also work great. I used to use these a lot in my what is it, the TT350 Flash. Okay, and if you just want to buy the batteries in bulk, these Amazon ones are okay. Um, so you can buy some bulk. What are you getting? A little more than $1 each, right? And then I talked about the readers, the batteries here. Of these batteries, the one I like the most, well, it just depends on what camera. This is kind of an interesting thing. If you have a little Sony camera that uses the smaller battery, uh, I used to use this. This is great, like if you like to live stream with your cameras, or you like to do time lapse, or uh, astrophotography, where you have to have your camera on for hours. You have to have one of these, basically, uh, for the older cameras that don't have USB-C. So this is for the Sony one. I've used them for my Olympus cameras. They work great. And a couple of tools down here and some adapters that are on sale. This is an interesting device. Quick release clamp. This is Arca Swiss, so you can. This is designed actually to put onto a nodal rail, and it mounts your camera, uh, perpendicular to the nodal rail. So if you bought a nodal rail with that and you need to mount your camera perpendicular to it, you can use this. It's also magnetic, or not, not magnetic, but you can flip it around so you can have it parallel with the nodal rail. If you're in landscape photography, this setup makes a lot of sense. I'm not going to talk about it much more than that, other than if you're a landscape photographer, you know exactly how useful this particular clamp is. And then of course, filter rings. I've been talking about filters. I can tell you, I can't tell you how many times I've used this wrench. Filter wrenches are always handy. A little pocket thing here with flat heads and Phillip heads, and even a more portable bottle cap opener with some Allen wrenches and a flat surface here at the top, so you can tighten up your any kind of flathead screw. This is a Nikon to Sony adapter with the aperture ring. There's a Minolta to Sony adapter. If you want to adapt some old Minolta, Minolta made some great lenses in the past. And this is the Sony A-mount adapter to Sony. So there's 3 mounts there for Sony that are on sale. If you shoot Sony cameras and you like to adapt your old, particularly your full frame lenses to your full frame Sony, these adapters work great. Hogue is a great brand. Uh, I have some Nikon shooters in my audience. Here's some extra caps and body caps. So if you have multiple bodies, or you lost your body cap and you have multiple lenses, particularly uh, when you adapt your vintage lenses using one of these adapters, a lot of times the adapter needs its own body cap. So if you buy one of these adapters, I would definitely buy some body lens, lens rear, lens cap, and body cap together. Not for these are Sony, but you'll need one for Sony, but these are for Nikon. And then some memory card holders, some product photography boxes here. I bought one of these without the light thing. I wish I got that with mine. Mine didn't come with this. I really like that. But these are really useful if you do product photography. You want to sell some junk on eBay. Uh, I shouldn't say junk, but if you want to sell your stuff on eBay, this is a great way to present the item for sale on wherever you want to sell it, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, etc. Presentation is everything, right? And you can command a little bit higher price, and it'll pay this will pay for itself, right? And then a coffee mug. This makes a nice little gift. What I liked about this one was it had the clear cap on the top, but it's now on sale for 10 bucks. So get it for yourself or get it as a gift to a photographer friend of yours. All right, so that kind of wraps up my $20 deals. I'm still feeling pretty good because I had coffee, so I'll just go ahead and show you some of the new deals that I found that are more than $20. Oops, I accidentally closed my window here. I'm sorry. Uh, okay, so let's go to my deal page. This one is robtrek.com/deals. I just added these because of the chat section. Speaking of Sony and other cameras, uh, CF Express Type A. Well, this is once this sells out, the price is going to go up, but this is a really good deal. If we look at the price history on this one, because Sony cameras use Type A, this is the new Type 4. Uh, back here, yeah, you can see how memory prices spiked up, but now this is back down. So this is the lowest price it's been in the last 3 months, but I guarantee once these are gone, the price is going to go back up. So if you have a Sony camera, you need the Type A CF Express. This card is very fast. It's the one that I use in my Sony camera, and it works great. Uh, Type B, this is in a lot of like Canon and Nikon cameras use the CF Express. Oh, this is another Type A, excuse me. This is a Type A. It's a little bit more, but this is a little bit more established brand uh, than the Per Gear. Next Storage has been doing memory a lot longer time. So if you want to pay like $30 more, you can get this brand. But not only that, this is also a faster memory card. It's a Type 4, but it's rated for a much higher speed. Now, in practice, this is not going to be any faster in your camera than the other memory card I showed you from PerGear. This really makes a difference when you're trying to offload your video files to your computer. It's going to be a lot faster with this than the other card, but they're both pretty fast. Uh, Here's the Type B. This is a killer deal. For a Type B CF Express card, $155. Once this is out of stock, let me see what the 2-pack goes for. 2-pack's not even available. But I guarantee once this goes out of stock, it's going to come back at double the price. So if you need a CF Express Type B, which is more common in the Nikon and Canons, I would, or even I think the newer Panasonics might have, I'm not sure. But definitely the Nikon and Canons use Type B. Now, this I could not pass up. $124. Uh, and this includes, wait, this is the backpack. This does not include, oh, this does include, this is the photography bundle. This includes the dividers. Okay, let's see if they show a picture of it. They don't show a picture with, well, this is the camera cube. You can take it out of the bag, but it's basically an insert with dividers for your camera gear. This is a killer deal. This goes on sale time to time for about $50 more. If we look at the price history, you'll see what I'm saying. If we look at the 1-year price history, only one time in the past year has it been at this price. I'm so tempted to buy one of these, but somebody just gave me one. Uh, Not a Wandered brand. They gave me a Tamrac roll top bag. If if I didn't just get that from somebody just gave it to me. Uh, but I'll show you the one that I have so you can kind of get a feel for this one. But this is more of a canvas style. This is a canvas style material, and then you have the opening in the front. The Wandered one opens in the back, but this one opens in the front. But of course, you'll have your compartment here with dividers and stuff. But then you have this roll top where you can put more stuff in, right? Obviously, looser items. Uh, but I've rolled in like because my friend has one of these. She has the Wandered version. She has the one that's on sale here. And what we did is in the top part in the roll, we rolled in two Godox V1s and a couple of triggers in there into the top. They typically advertise the top roll part so you can put your jackets or maybe put your lunch and your cantina in there. It fits nicely in the top there, but I use it to stuff photography gear because I don't usually go out on day-long trips when I go out and do photography. Otherwise, I would need the roll top to carry a jacket or something. That's a killer deal. This is the 31-liter version for $10 more. Another killer deal, and it includes the photography bundle. So you get the insert with dividers. Again, if you look at the 1-year price history on this, you're not going to see it. It's like one time in the past year, and this was probably another Prime Day, where this was this cheap, shockingly cheap, $136. You're just not going to beat that. But for $100 less, you can get this generic one, right? Is this a photography laptop? It's not even a photography laptop. My bad. But what you're going to have to do is buy the insert separately. Um, so, and everything goes in the top. It doesn't open. All right, my bad. I should not have this on my page. Let me just take that off real quick. Okay. Um, of course, the DJI Osmo, insanely popular vlogging cam. 300, it's more than $100 off because the Pocket 4 is out. And really, the only difference between the Pocket 3 and the Pocket 4 is uh, there's a couple of buttons on the Pocket 4. So they improved the ergonomics, and they claim there's better dynamic range. And I saw a few examples, and there is slightly better dynamic range with the new one. But ultimately, they both use the same exact sensor and processor. But for whatever reason, they were able to squeeze out a little more dynamic range in the Pocket 4. But in practice, there's not much difference. So why not save more than $100 and get the Pocket 3? Also, the Go Ultra Small is about $100 off. Another really fun little action cam. Uh, this is the Insta360 webcam. This is what I'm using right now. Just to give you some idea, this is what I'm using right now. And it's a full gimbal, so I can rotate it, point it up and down and all of. So if I was standing in a room and walking back and forth, it has tracking so that it'll follow me as I walk around the room because it's on a full gimbal, as you can see. And it comes with an app with all kinds of tools. $149. This is an awesome webcam, the very best in my opinion. And then of course, I gotta have some camera bodies and lenses. I talked about this in my last live stream, so I won't go into it too much. But the OM1 Mark II with the 12 to 40 f2.8 Pro lens, bread and butter for a lot of professional photographers. I use my OM1 Mark I. This is the Mark II on sale, but I use my OM1 Mark I. But I paid full price for 4 or 5 years ago, and I still use it to this day. I just took it out on a job this week, and this camera's paid for itself over and over again. It's very durable, lasts forever, and I can't recommend the OM1 Mark II high enough. Now, the OM3 is the camera that you sort of fall in love with because as much as I love the OM1, I'm not in love with it. As soon as the Mark III or Mark IV comes out with some, if it has, assuming it has some nice upgrades to it, I'm going to dump the OM1 Mark I and get the OM1 Mark III or Mark IV, whatever version I like, comes out that I like. And I'm not going to miss the Mark I at all. I don't miss my EM1 Mark III, my EM1 Mark II at all because they're just workhorse cameras. The OM3, on the other hand, is a camera that I will never sell. This is my forever camera. To steal a phrase from Emily, this is the camera that I'm going to keep forever, just like my Pen F. My Pen F is not going anywhere, even though I never take it out anymore since I got the OM3. But you can get the OM3 with the 12 to 45 f4 Pro lens for $19.99. That's what I paid for the camera without the lens, because I bought it when it came out, of course. But this is a killer deal. Uh, I have my OM3 here with the 40 to 150. This is another lens you should buy, the 40 to 150 kit lens and the IT32. This is a perfect setup. This is like a great portrait setup. I didn't use this for portraits. I was doing macro photography with it, but um, yeah. And if you watch any video on this camera from any influencer, they all love this camera or have fallen in love with the camera after they actually used it. Because there was a lot of initial reviews that were kind of mixed, right? Because they said it's too big, it's lacking this, doesn't have a joystick, blah, blah, blah. But now we're what? We're a year or two into the life of this camera, right? And a lot of people have just fallen in love with it like I have. I was in love with it from day one. But yeah, so I think this camera is awesome. Uh, I use it for sports action wildlife. Anyway, I said I wasn't going to talk about it much. The OM5, also awesome. This is the Mark II with the 14 to 150 kit lens, fully weather sealed from the lens to the body. It's very, very fast responsive camera. The only thing it does not have that these two cameras have is the subject detect. Uh, it does not have the subject detect like the OM3 and the OM1. It does have face detect, which works awesome. The face detect on this camera is awesome, but it just doesn't have like bird detect, planes, cars, things like that. $1,269 for this combo is an amazing deal. And then I had a couple other cameras that I thought kind of stood out, value for the money. These are full frame, the Panasonic S5 Mark II with two lenses. You get the 20 to 60 kit lens and the 50 millimeter f1.8. I used to have both these lenses for my S5 Mark I. One of my biggest regrets was getting out of the L mount system. I want to get back into it, but I'm just having a hard time uh, justifying it. So the answer is I should have never sold out to begin with. But I love the L mount system. I love the glass. I love these two lenses. I love this camera. I just can't justify getting back into it at this point. But I can tell you it's one of my biggest regrets was selling this camera gear off. I paid $2,000 for the camera alone. The camera body alone, back then for the S5 Mark I, I paid 2,000, and then I bought the 20 to 60 and the 50 separately. No, I bought the 20 to 60 as a kit, so it was like $2,300 with the lens, if I recall correctly. And then I bought the 50 millimeter for 300 bucks later. Killer deal, brand new with warranty. Uh, and then the Nikon Z5 Mark II is pretty much the same thing as the Panasonic, but with less video features. So you can get it here with a 24 to 50 kit lens. I'm not as familiar with this camera other than I know it's gotten rave reviews, and this is sort of the do-it-all camera, and it's relatively compact and small. So I would, if you want to get a full frame camera, this looks like a great deal, and you want to go into the Nikon system instead of Panasonic. The Nikon arguably may have better autofocus. I don't know. I thought the S5 was fine, but there's that. So with and without the kit lens, it's only $100 to get this kit lens. You might as well get it if you're going to buy the Z5. If you already have Nikon Z mount lenses, then just get the body. There's a laptop here. It's kind of high end. This is the laptop I would buy now if I were going to replace the one I have. The one I have still has plenty of life left in it, but this is a really good deal. It has the TI version of the 5070. It has the AI Ultra chip. You're just going to blast through all of your and 32 gig of RAM. If you do a lot of photo editing and video editing, this will blow through it no problem. Uh, now we're kind of getting into the fine print, right? The Data Color Spider Checker to calibrate your monitor colors. If you're really particular about your colors, you need to get this $139. I'd say for most people, you don't really need this. The monitors come straight out of factory, close enough for sharing social media. But if you work professionally like I do and colors are important, then this is critical. USB-C tester on sale here. Uh, this is amazing. I got so many USB-C cables laying around, and now I know which ones are power only. I know which ones are 10 gigabit compatible, which ones are 40 gigabit compatible. You cannot, if you have a lot of cables and you don't know why some of them are working and some of them are not, this is the only way to test it. Is it a 60-watt cable or is it a 100-watt cable? This will tell you because it has the PD transmission data here as well. So if you've been dealing with USB-C cables for a long, and this will do more than USB-C. It has Micro 2.0, it has USB-A and Mini B, but I use it mainly for my USB-C cables because the USB-C cables all look the same, but they're all different specifications. And this is really the only way to tell the difference. It's only $42. It's worth its weight in gold. Here's some Peak Design style. I just bought some more today for $5. You get 2 sets here. I bought 2 more sets because I'm going to get another camera here soon, namely my L10, and I have a Minolta XD film camera that I got that I want to use that style buckle. These were on my $10 deal page, so I'm going to skip past these. I talked about these last week. I did add some new power banks here. So Anker and Ugreen. I would just go with one of these. Okay. Get the size that's appropriate for your needs. But these are all really good deals. And of course, Jackery and Anker for the bigger ones. This is great for camping and multi-day photo trips, right? And a few lenses, the Viltrox lenses are all like 20% off. I would definitely get a Viltrox lens for my Sony and Fujifilm cameras. If you click on any one of these, it'll take you to a page and show you multiple variations. All of these are on sale. So definitely check out the Viltrox lenses for your Fuji and Sony cameras. Um, they're awesome. And the flashes are on sale. I really like the IT32 and the V480. These are the two I recommend the most. This one has a lot more power, is more versatile, but the IT32 is more compact, right? This is what I have on my that's what I have here mounted on my OM3 is an IT32. Plus it has a wireless trigger built in, or not built in, but this is the X50. You can buy it together as a set. And I don't need to buy another flash. I can just buy like a Canon trigger, a Sony trigger. These are like 20 bucks each if I want to use this flash on any of my other camera bodies. So this is extremely versatile in that sense. You can expand very quickly. The V480 just has more power and is better for this flash. This is better for, in my opinion, this is a better if you do a lot of deep stacking, like not like the 15 in-camera focus stack, but I'm talking about like you're doing 100 shots in focus stacking. You probably want to go with this. It's going to have faster recycle times. You can use lower power than the IT32. And this also is much better for studio and portrait work. The IT32 is great for shorter stacking, 15 to 25. I would say 15 to 20 focus brackets, and also for some light duty fill flash, right? But the V480 here is having nearly double the power is going to be much better flash for deep stacking and for portrait work and studio work. And it comes in all versions of this are on sale. Highly recommended. These other flashes are studio flashes. I've talked about these in the past. You know, this newer flash for $88 for Nikon. This is a no-brainer. If you have a Nikon camera, just buy this. Okay? No-brainer. Full-size flash, 76 watt second power, TTL, high-speed sync, multi-strobic, lithium-ion battery, touchscreen. Hands down, this is a deal. This is the cheapest I've ever. I'm sorry, this is for the Fujifilm, but the Nikon one is $103. Either way, Fuji or Nikon, no brainer. Okay? Just get this. Uh, even if you think you're never going to use it, just get it. You're going to use it. Here's some diffusers for macro photography, close-up photography, infrared. A few more memory card deals down here. These are not as good as the ones I posted up top. Well, actually, this one is really good. A pair of 128s, V30s. This is a good brand. You know, this brand I bought. Here's one I haven't opened yet. This when my L10 comes in, this is what I'm going to put in it. I happen to got the V60 version. You can't get this anymore. Okay, it's sold out. If you want to buy this now, it's like $100. But I bought this for 50 bucks at the time. I bought two of them. But I've tried to research the third-party brands that use the top-tier manufacturers like Samsung and Micron that manufacture the memory chip, and then there's another company that assembles the memory chips together with the controller and the casing and the branding. These are all top-tier manufacturing processes, and Lexar, uh, what's the other brand? Not SanDisk, but anyway, all the top-tier brands that you're familiar with use the same top-tier manufacturers from Samsung and the assembly. They just get rebranded at the factory because there's only 4 or 5 major top tier manufacturing uh, sites for memory. But anyway, um, all of these are top tier. All of these memory cards are top tier. PNY, Lexar, Orico. The Digiair is not known as well, but it's a top tier. The manufacturing is top tier. The brand is not. Kingston, SanDisk, etc. Um, so just compare these to the other deals. This is a really good deal. $95 for a V90 128. If you have a camera that has high spec video, you'll need a V90 card. Here's the 256 gig and some more filters that we looked at in the previous page because these are all like 10 bucks, right? The same bags, filters, tripods. One tripod I do want to add, here's some lenses. This is a no-brainer. You guys have all seen this before, I'm sure. These lenses are all no-brainers. Just, they're on sale now. I would just get them if you don't have it. And that about sums it up. One other tripod I just wanted to remind everyone, it's closer to the top here, I believe. This one. This is an awesome tripod for $99. I think it's even cheaper than when I first added this to my list. Let me see. No, it's the same. It's been kind of hovering up and down at this price range for a while. Looks like it was $10 more at one point. So even though this is not a Prime Day sale, this is an awesome tripod for $99 or $100 really, right? $99.99. If you want a carbon fiber, really nice tripod. These are just the legs, right? I could have sworn this had the ball head with it though. These are just the legs. So you're gonna have to buy your ball head separately. Where's the one with the ball head on it though? This one. Oh my God, it's the one with the ball head is gone. This used to have the ball head with it. 4-section support. Yeah, the ball head. Yeah, the ball head is gone. I hope some of you guys got this because this was a good deal. It's still the legs are still a good deal, but now you're gonna have to spend 40, 50 bucks on a ball head. And I don't know if that combination is gonna be worth it. Uh, that's a tough call because this was a lot cheaper. I think it was like $30 more for the ball head. And the ball head was a low profile, really good capacity. All right, so that's what I have for today's Prime Day. I really appreciate everyone's support. I can stay on for a few more minutes if you have any questions or if you want to look for something else. Um, let me shut down some of my windows here. See what I brought out. The one thing I didn't talk about this. This is a really good deal. This is on sale for like 100 bucks off. A little action cam with the Pro Grip. This is the only way to buy it. I think this is like 300 and why isn't this on my deal page or is it? This is a good deal. There it is. $389. This is a good deal. And this includes the Pro Grip that I'm holding. What the Pro Grip does is it moves the shutter button to the front. It has a rocker here for zooming in and out, and then also a dial here for adjusting exposure comp or whatever. So this is almost like a regular camera or compact camera now. But the grip also has its own batteries. So the battery life, you have the internal battery in the Ace Pro itself, And then this grip has its own battery that is a supplement to the Ace Pro's battery. So this lasts a long, long time. I never had to change a battery when I was in the field using this. And the video is extremely stable and really, really good 4K video, even in low light. And for photography, not bad, right? You can use this as a regular photo camera. It has a 2x mode, which gives you like a 24 millimeter equivalent, but really, I wouldn't use that. I would just use it as a super wide angle. And you can get some terrific shots with this. I have a video on this. You can see the pictures that I took with this. I have a couple of videos if you want to see them, or you can go to my Flickr page. Uh, if I type in Ace Pro, let me see. I should have a couple of albums. Yeah, here are the photos I took with it. Oops. Yeah. Um, and it does. Let's see. One of my favorite shots. This these two are probably a couple of my favorite shots. This one and this one. Super wide angle. So you can do all kinds of things with it. Here's a clip from the low light. I was in very low light. This is a clip from the 4K video. It might have been 8K video. Yeah, this was 8K video. Camera's 8K video capable. This is a low light clip. As you can see, it was dawn, you know? So, anyway, there's that. If you're thinking about an action cam, that's the way to go. So I will call it here. You guys have a great weekend. Take lots of picture, eat healthy and exercise. Have a good day. Do that every day, and you should have a good life, right? Thanks for watching. Thank you so much for your support. And I should be back Sunday for my regular live stream.